Is here. Grace or Jace says, greetings, brothers. Greeting, brother. May today be fruitful. Thank you. Very much appreciated. I actually have Jace up in front of me right now. He is doing his workout, getting ready to do his workout. He's warming up. So maybe we'll wrap this up quick. Maybe we'll do our reading from the Tao and spend a few moments cheering Jace on. I want to definitely have him up. We want to get those watch hours in. Plus, I like being there for the um, closing extension of love. I think that's the best way for me to describe it. Is Jace just spends a moment after his workout, uh, extending himself in and as love. So, guys, we are on verse 72 of the Tao Te Ching. That means we are 9 days from the finish. We were talking yesterday about what we might do afterwards. Maybe pulling from all kinds of different spiritual traditions, taking suggestions. What do you find meaningful? What have you found meaningful in the past that has helped you um, grow, expand, let go, and forgive? Or find strength, peacefulness in the moment that you read it. What has been some enlightening words for you? Maybe from the Bible. Our friend Walking with Goldie suggested possibly uh, looking for parallels between the and Quran and the Bible. We can find them anywhere in any cross-traditional type of thinking. This time with the Tao Te Ching, I see it more so than ever. And this is, I can't even begin to count the times that I've immersed myself in the Tao. This is just the most recent. Same with the Bhagavad Gita. Same with the Upanishads or the Dhammapada. Any of the great spiritual traditions. The Shiva Sutras, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. I have them right next to my bed. And each night I dive in. I'd like to do some more work with in the morning, maybe with the Course of Miracles, as that's my daily study. However, I'm doing separate talks, actual videos, not live, of Course of Miracles. But I think it might be worthwhile to offer that as a live session, because there seems to be a lot of questions when you dive into A Course of Miracles, mainly because the ego just can't accept it, and it's not supposed to. The purpose of A Course of Miracles, the purpose of a miracle, is to see through and past the ego, to diminish it. We're not trying to eradicate the ego, because one, the ego can never. We pick up a book, we pick up the Tao Te Ching, we pick up A Course of Miracles, with an egoic perspective that I'm going to get enlightened, I'm going to get wise, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. It's all based upon the ego, and the ego will never partake in anything that will lead to seeing through the ego. Why would it? The ego has that projection of, once I get this, I will be enlightened. The ego is never enlightened. Awakening is simply seeing through the ego, even for a moment, even for a moment. And as Robert Saltzman, the author of the 10,000 Things, said, awakening never ends. Once it starts, a lifelong process. And who knows how much longer still. I got to remember to speak up a little bit, as I am awful quiet in the morning for a reason. So guys, this is verse 72 of the Tao Te Ching. When people lack a sense of awe, there will be disaster. When people do not fear worldly power, a greater power will arrive. Do not limit the view of yourself. Do not despise the conditions of your birth. Do not resist the natural course of your life. In this way, you will never be weary of this world. Therefore, the sage knows himself. He makes no show of himself, loves himself, but does not exalt himself. He prefers what is within to what is without. Seems to be some contradictions, as is the Tao. That's because the Tao embraces contradictions. It embraces paradox. As any glimpse of truth, as any wisdom is going to, you gotta accept the paradoxes. Remember Walt Whitman, leaves of grass. Let me bring it up. I love this quote. If I can find it. Give me a second, guys. Typing with one hand. I'm not that good of a typist with two hands. All right. This could be right out of the Tao Te Ching from Walt Whitman. Leaves of grass. Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. Here, this is a little AI summary. That the poem is about celebrating oneself and one's virtues and vices. Virtues and vices. Seems like a contradiction. How do you celebrate your virtues as well as your vices? Because you're human and you contain both. Because do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. The universe itself. Whitman's poetic observations are similar to mindfulness, which is paying attention to the present moment without judgment. In this poem, Whitman is kind and compassionate towards himself, acknowledging his idiosyncrasies and shortcomings, as well as mispronouncements. Man, how beautiful is that? And that could be right out of the Tao Te Ching. It could be right out of the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads. I am large. I contain multitudes. The cosmology of self. We're the universe. How can the universe not contain a contradiction? That we have form, solidness, and yet solidness itself is emptiness. That the world is continuously in motion, and yet you can settle down in meditation and find absolute stillness without going anywhere, without taking a step away from your meditation cushion. So we wake up in the morning and we wake up exactly into a world that is spinning around and revolving around the sun. And at the same time, we can simply sit on the edge of our bed, unless we have a meditation cushion or bench, and we can meditate. And we can find absolute stillness at the very same time. How amazing is that? Here's something that the author, not the author of the Tao Te Ching, but the author of Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Wayne Dyer, his interpretation of the Tao Te Ching has offered, and it is from Saint John of the Cross, Christian mystic, Catholic mystic, one of my all-time favorites. He wrote The Dark Night of the Soul, and we have all gone through our dark nights of the soul. We will all go through a dark night of the soul. That's how we grow. That's how we learn to expand ourselves in a sense of love, as well as in a sense of awe. My beloved is the mountains. and lonely wooded valleys, strange islands, and resounding rivers, the whistling of love, stirring breezes, the tranquil night at the time of rising dawn, silent music, sounding solitude, the supper that refreshes and deepens love. St. John of the Cross, how beautiful is that? That's awe. This is what the Tao is reminding us to do. Wake up, and how can you not experience a sense of awe? I mention that probably every talk. Once a day, I'll mention it. Why my morning prayer is thank you, thank you, thank you. How could it not be? Man, an entire universe right here, right now, as soon as I opened my eyes, there was nothing the moment before. I was in an absolute state of deep sleep. Nothingness. When we have everyday waking consciousness, we have the dreaming state of consciousness, we have deep sleep, where we are not, there's still awareness, and yet we don't seem to be aware that we are aware. When we become aware that we're aware, that is the fourth state of consciousness, um, which you experience in deep meditation. Turiya is the name of that state in Sanskrit. And when I'm asleep, in that deep sleep, in that third state of consciousness, again, I'm not aware of being aware, and yet there's still awareness, but there is just absolute nothingness itself. My eyes open up, an entire universe is created just for me to exist in. So how can I not wake up in a state of awe and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been given an entire universe. Personally, a gift from the Absolute. The Absolute is without concept. It's without label. We can say God, we can say the Tao, and yet, as the Tao says at the very beginning, the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. What do you think of that? Pretty amazing, no? So, I will be going out and taking a walk soon. Continuing that state of awe. Stepping out my front door, and the universe that I mentioned, there it is. Not just not just not just greeting me, but literally engulfing me, literally embracing me. My friend Kevin is here. Kevin, how are you? Appreciate you stopping in, my friend. I'm going to bring up the live stream on my desktop. Easier to see. Wasn't sure if we were going to get any visitors today. Happy to see everyone. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Hi there, lovely Goldie. How are you? I think this is what, day 4, Goldie? Let's see. Hace tiempo ya te sigo. Man, I shouldn't even bother to try. I do give it an honest attempt. Let's see. Anterior, so we're talking the end of something. It's a shame that, you know what, and the technical advances that we do have translating, that you can't do it instantly with just on YouTube chat. Just click a button and you get the translation. Where are you from? I am from USA. I'm from Maryland. East Coast. How about you, Kevin? We read verse 72 of the Tao Te Ching. That means we have 9 more to go. Actually, technically, as we read 72 today, We have 7 more to go. We are a week away. Kevin says, okay. I appreciate you joining in, Kevin. I'm Latin American, my friend. Well, welcome. Really appreciate you stopping in. So, verse 72. I won't read it again. However, we'll sum it up. Lao Tzu in the Tao is saying that cultivate, welcome a sense of awe. That includes yourself. This is why I read um, from Walt Whitman's The Leaves of Grass. Kevin says, my English is not good. I use Translate. Hey, I appreciate that. Your English seems pretty well, though. And Kevin says, do you speak Spanish? I don't. Um, my significant other has been trying to get me to learn at least a little bit of Spanish for decades, for 23 years. She was a Spanish linguist in the military, as well as a Somali linguist. And now she's studying American Sign Language. But I should learn at least the very basics of Spanish. We got a fairly large Spanish-speaking community here, and it would be nice to be able to communicate on a deeper level than just waving and smiling, although a whole lot can be communicated with a smile, with a wave, and basically showing people, hey, I'm here for you. I'm a friend. Kevin says, you have Instagram? I do have Instagram. Eric McCarty. I'm thinking on a suggestion of an old friend this morning on Facebook to get TikTok. He suggested I put out my breath awareness, my breath work videos on TikTok. And he says he thought they would do quite well. We'll see. Don't know anything about TikTok. I haven't really been on it. I've watched clips that people have sent me. Mocha sends me, especially dogs. TikTok videos of dogs. Kevin says he's 24 and your age significantly older. 59. I am double your age and then some. So just going to read the middle of verse 72 because I love this verse. But it's a thinker, not a thinker, a ponderer. You got to ponder it. Do not limit the view of yourself. Do not despise the conditions of your birth. Do not resist the natural course of your life. In this way, you will never weary of this world. I love that. And I talked to many people. I talked to a good friend yesterday who does seem to despise himself and the conditions of his birth, the conditions of his life. And that saddens me because I've been there. I have been there in that position. The thing is, all of that is just a thought, conditioning. The world is filled with people that I can urge you let's see. Walking with Goldie says, I told you a while ago, my friend. Oh, TikTok, day 6. You did. Today is day 6. I get my days confused, though. Let's see here. Te sigo de sed has tempio mi amigo, my friend. That part I got. It is 4:16 o'clock here. It is, we're an hour apart. I am at 5:20, so we're a little over an hour apart. Goldie says, no, I'm watching you. Oh, I was translating very clumsily. Well, I appreciate that. William says, hello, Yogi. William, my friend, how are you? I was thinking about you, William, as I read verse 72. Um, as it is all about embracing ourselves, loving ourselves, accepting our contradictions. How the sage knows himself, but makes no show of himself, loves himself, but does not exalt himself. He prefers what is within to what is without. Lao Tzu is asking us to cultivate a sense of awe. And as I mentioned before, this is why I wake up in the morning and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, because from that absolute nothingness of deep sleep, where I'm not dreaming, I'm aware, and yet I'm not aware that I'm aware. There's just that deep sleep, darkness. And I open my eyes, and instantly there's a universe just for me, for you too. That's the wonderful thing about the universe, is it is personal and exclusive at the same time. It is personal, exclusive, and it's also inclusive. Everyone belongs. Everyone has a personal universe that is shared with everyone else. Let's see. Goldie says, Seagull, following in your case watching. Following in our case watching. Nice. I will do my best to remember that. I doubt it'll stick. So cultivating a sense of awe, it's just reminding yourself when you open your eyes, an entire universe is right here. Everything I need to exist, and I didn't even have to ask for it. It's been granted to us. Genesis in replay. We open our eyes, and it is as if God has whispered, let there be light for you. And there it is. I got my hand up. And there it is. Absolutely amazing. Goldie says, I'm very clumsy in Hispanic language, but we have the same base, Latin. Hey, you are much better than me. So, with that sense of awe, and learning to embrace ourselves and love ourselves, even through our every fault, our every mistake, our every misconceived notion of who and what we are, our every time we've ever treated anyone unfairly, anytime we didn't love or didn't seem like we loved, anytime, 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 all of it. That's living the Tao. Realizing our imperfection is the very source of our perfection. This is why I read Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. I absolutely love Walt Whitman, and I love Leaves of Grass because he was full of contradictions. If you read a biography of Walt Whitman, it'll talk about, what a great poet he was, what a great this, what a great that, and it'll also talk about all his flaws, as if that makes a difference. And yet he celebrated that himself. Here it is, the quote. Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. I could read that over and over again, and I probably will today. Cody says, have you seen Miramed? I haven't. I saw that I posted on one of his shorts today. But yeah, I haven't seen him. I didn't see him yesterday either. I don't think I did. So I'm going to get ready to head outside, take my walk. Yesterday we were braced for possible tornadoes in the morning. I did not want to go for a super long walk. I got out, I did about a mile and a half. Um, so this morning I'm going to make up for it. I'm going to go a little bit longer. William, keep us posted on how your journey is going. Last time we talked, you were in Illinois. Illinois? Illinois. Is there a plural? Is there a plural to Illinois? It is Illinois, right? Mir says I saw him this morning out at Timo's. Nice. I have Timo up, and I'm going to have him up and running through the morning, just a little bit. I have Jace up right now in his workout. Let's see here, guys. I hope our friend Mir is doing well. So, Goldie, I hope you have an easy day 6. Hope you cruise through it. William, I hope your travels are peaceful and safe today. Let us know what state you end in. Let's see. Goldie says, by the way, Eric McCarty, the person I sent the voicemail about, is already at Optimum. The question is, when is she going to be here? Let me know. If she does, maybe she won't make it. I am not everyone's cup of water, let alone tea. All right, my cat is here snoring beside me. William Hart says, what are we humming about, my friend? William says, I have no idea, yet maybe Maine, as I stop. I've always enjoyed Maine. Been there a few times. I always love it. Beautiful state. Big mosquitoes. Some of the biggest. And lots of black flies in the forest. That's okay, because you're in Maine and it's beautiful. Deep, deep woods. How can you not love a place that have mooses? Mountains and mountains and mountains. Mount Katahdin, the end or the beginning of the Appalachian Trail. William says, but Michigan for something else right now. Goldie says, remember the journey is part of the road. Absolutely. Remember St. Catherine of Siena. All the way to heaven is heaven. Or as they say in Zen, the journey is the goal. The journey is the path. Oh, you're already in Eastern time. Why did I think Michigan was still an hour? Or Illinois is still an hour? Michigan's a beautiful state too. I enjoyed the Upper Peninsula. I've often thought I wouldn't mind living in Minnesota. Both states are really nice. North Carolina. I often thought if I had to sell my home, I would get a mobile home, small one, and move to North Carolina and seasonally move from the coast to the mountains. Spend my summer in the mountains, in the Smoky Mountains. And in the winter, I'd avoid, of course, hurricane season, and I would head to the Outer Bank area. Love the Outer Banks. have a very concentrated bear population. Some people will think you're going to find all the bears in the mountains, and you do find a lot. But I think you actually see more um, in the swamp, in the marsh area, right along the coastal area. I love the wild coast. You head to the ocean nowadays, and it is wall-to-wall people, boardwalks, stands selling this, selling that, and you miss the essence of the beach itself. We've lost the wilderness of the beach, and yet North Carolina has been able to maintain quite a bit of that, as does Maine. Hey Lee, how are you? Lee says, morning, Eric, just a quick hello. We'll catch later today. Hope you're well. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate stopping by. Goldie says, hi there, Lee. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. It's 5:30. Um, I got some nature to see. Who knows what it's going to be? Part of me is saying, you know what? I'm never going to top. I'm never going to top an egret with a snapping turtle walking in front of it. What, what a lucky catch. However, I don't got to top anything because I didn't make that happen. I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time. And guess what? You are always in the right spot at the right time because every moment is an opportunity. You're not separate from that moment yourself. You're a deep participant with the universe. Life doesn't happen to you. Life is happening. You're part of it. You're an aspect of life. In the thick of it. Eyebrow deep. You can't remove yourself from life. People always say, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen to me? It doesn't. Nothing's ever happened to you. You have happened. You have played out specific conditions. And here we are. The good news is we're always in motion. That's the contradiction I was talking about. We wake up to a world in constant and continuous motion. The world is revolving. We're turning. We're going around the sun. And yet at the same time, on the edge of your bed, you can meditate and find yourself in absolute stillness. How is that for a contradiction? Both exist at once. Absolute stillness, from which everything moves. And you can return to that. However, life itself, it's always in motion, and always in motion. And that is the nature of karma. Karma simply means action, not punishment. And it is certainly not justification for resentment. I always see people say, well, you'll get yours. I believe in karma. Karma does not care if you believe in it or not. Karma is not a belief. Karma is not a, if you do something bad is going to happen to you. Karma is simply the consequences of an action. It's a continuation of action. And if you put yourself in a position where you continuously do things that are unkind, that are block our natural compassion and empathy, then the consequences play out in a similar fashion. If you want to change your karma, forgive. Forgive and forgive. Wake up. Realize that you are part of that karmic interaction of everything in the world. No separation. Once more, life does not happen to you. You happen as life itself. It's pretty beautiful when you think about it. Eric Lapointe says, good morning, everyone. I'm on the road right now. Safe traveling, Eric. Appreciate you stopping by. Goldie says, hi there, Eric Lapointe. All right. I'm going to head out, guys. Let's see what nature has in store for me. Who knows? I'll see everyone later. Stay tuned. Thanks, Goldie. Thanks, Eric Lapointe. Thanks, William and Lee, for stopping by. Thank you to our new friend, Kevin. Hope you stop by again. Take care. Oh, and Jace. Jace started the morning off. Very much appreciated. Jace is busy working out right now, so make sure you check him out. Take care, guys.